Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us again. My name is Dan. I'm here at my house. There is Nick, my son, and he is away at college. This is our way of enjoying the NASCAR season together, and we've come back together particularly as we're enjoying the NASCAR Cup playoffs. What'd you think about the Kansas race?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really different than what I was expecting. I was expecting someone to just lead 200 laps and win it like a Larson or Hamlin. Not what I expected, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Once again, for this second race of the playoffs, we had our second non-playoff driver to win a race, and Bubba Wallace was able to pull it off.
It was good to see him get that win.
I'd say this is one that you could argue that he really deserved it. He probably had the best car out there if you look at the whole race.
For sure.
Our picks from last week, we didn't fare quite as well. Nick, you had picked Larson to win. He ended up finishing 8th, so not terrible.
Settled for that.
My winning pick was Kyle Busch, and Kyle just never quite got it going. A pit road miscue here or there, a spin here or there, and he just never got it going.
It was a rough race for him.
Yeah. But your non-playoff sleeper pick was Michael McDowell. He finished 16th. You should have let me talk you into picking Bubba Wallace the second straight.
Yeah.
And then my sleeper pick was Chris Buescher, and he finished 15th. So not quite as good on our picks this week. We're going to see if we can make up for that for this upcoming race at Bristol. So let's talk about which playoff drivers fared the best, came out of Kansas looking the best as far as the playoffs go. Christopher Bell, he is our new playoff standings leader. He moved up from 4th place to 1st place. Christopher Bell started the playoffs in 10th, then he was 4th, and now he is 1st. He hasn't won a race yet, but he's been running up front, been getting lots of stage points. What do you think? Is Bell going to win one sooner or later?
I think he could win one. He's consistently up there, consistently getting the stage points. He's already secured a spot in the next round, so he's got a chance to keep going.
And how about this? Alex Bowman has moved up to 6th place in the playoff standings. We could argue that he is safe. I wouldn't make that argument just yet, but he's looking really good right now.
He geared up for the last race. He was running up top the whole time almost, and I guess he knew he needed them points, and most likely he will be moving on, most likely, unless something crazy happens.
Then we had several drivers in this race that kind of held their ground as far as the standings go. William Byron came in 2nd place. He left in 2nd place. Same for Denny Hamlin. He came in 3rd place in the standings. He left 3rd place in the standings. Hamlin with a nice 2nd place finish on the night. Ryan Blaney came in 6th. Now he's 5th. Chase Elliott, after a terrible first week and falling all the way to 9th, now he is up to 7th in the standings. Kyle Larson, he came in 7th. Now he's 8th in the standings. Chastain came in 8th in the playoff standings. Now he is 9th. Daniel Suarez went from 12th to 10th, and Austin Cindric went from 13th to 11th. One thing that was interesting about this race, we had a non-playoff driver to win the race, but did you realize that out of the top 14 finishing, 12 of them were in the playoffs?
Yeah. That makes it extra hurtful on the ones that finished 36th, 35th.
That's right, because everybody else almost finished up front. So some guys that were hurt in the standings. Joey Logano, he finished 17th in the race, but this still dropped him in the standings. He was the leader. Now he is in 4th place. And then you also have a couple of guys that crashed early. Both of them hitting the wall at different points. Tyler Reddick came into the Kansas race in 5th place in the standings. Now he is 12th. He finished next to last in the race. Actually, he's not 12th, but he's tied with Cindric for 11th place. So Cindric and Reddick are the 11th and 12th drivers. The ones that are most firmly on the bubble on the cut line for the playoffs. And then Kevin Harvick with his second terrible race in a row. He is now last place. He's 26 points even from getting back into 15. Yeah. And he's 35 points below the cut line. We're looking at Kevin Harvick needing a win in Bristol if he's going to have any hopes. And then we talked about Kyle Busch. He dropped to 13th in the standings. So Kyle Busch is the first driver that is out as far as the current standings go. Bristol night race, it's a Saturday night race. This is an elimination. So after this race, 4 drivers that are 13th through 16th in the standings, they are going to be gone from the playoffs. So Nick, who is a driver that you believe going into Bristol that you can say that they're safe?
I'd be willing to bet that Elliott and Larson would stay safe. All they have to do is have consistent, hopefully some stage points, but especially like a top 10, top 15 finish. I'm confident in those two.
So with those two, and I'm just going to go ahead and throw Byron and Bowman in there because they are up there in the standings. So the Hendrick guys, any chance do you think that they just play it conservative?
I'd believe that all the Hendrick guys would be conservative. Sure, if they've got a really fast car, I feel like they would go for it. But above all, in the back of their minds, they're going to know we just need to survive this race. We've got a good spot. There's no point in risking it all just for a couple more spots. Let's move on to the next round and then we can reassess.
Okay, and then we go over to the Joe Gibbs Toyotas. Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, they're up there in the front. Something really bad would have to happen to them. And then you have Kyle Busch, who has got to move up in the standings. So is Kyle Busch going to make it, or is Kyle Busch going to be eliminated this week?
Kyle Busch is going to make it. Do you think so?
I think so, but I can see 2 things happening. I can see him just being really good, possibly dominant and running up front, top 5 finish, maybe even a win. I can see that. I can also see, the way some races have just turned out for him this season where, maybe he spins early, whether it's his fault or not. He's driving angry. Few laps later, spins again. I can see that happening too. What do you think?
That it is possible, yeah, because he has had some very unlucky races. I'm willing to bet that it won't happen, and I'm confident that he can move on. He's only 2 points under the line. I feel like he can get an easy top 10 finish.
After Kyle Busch in the standings, we've got Austin Dillon, who is 3 points out. We've got Chase Briscoe, who is 9 points out, and then Harvick, who we've already talked about. Okay, so of those 3 guys, Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe, Kevin Harvick, which of them do you feel has the best chance of making it, of surviving this cut?
Kevin Harvick.
Okay, so you're saying,
hinting at my pick, yeah.
The most likely thing of those is that Kevin Harvick wins the race.
Yes. I sadly think that Dillon is done, and I'm pretty sure Briscoe will be done too.
So it was 2 years ago that Nick, you and I and our family, we had the privilege of attending the Bristol night race, and we got to watch Kevin Harvick dominate and win. Kyle Busch was really good that night too, but he couldn't catch Harvick in the end. That was 2 years ago. Last year, you might recall, Kevin Harvick could have won this race, which would have made it 2 in a row at the night race for him, except there was a little thing with Chase Elliott.
Yeah.
You remember this?
Yeah, I remember this.
And as it turns out, then coming to the end, Chase Elliott was going a lap down. He made sure that Harvick was not able to get up where he needed to be so he could pass Larson. Larson goes on to win the race. then you have that nice confrontation at the
Mm,
end. I'm sure Harvick remembers that well.
yeah,
Harvick has also shown that he can pull out a win when it counts.
yeah,
He
for
did that
sure.
when he was in danger of not even making the playoffs when he won at Michigan. All right, let me ask you about Logano and Blaney and Cindric.
Hmm.
Are Logano and Blaney, are they safe unless
Oh
disaster
yeah,
points?
yeah. Logano, he can clinch with 16 points and a 21st place finish if he doesn't earn any stage points. And Blaney can clinch with 20 points, a 17th place finish if he doesn't earn stage points.
Okay, so do you think those two guys are going
There,
to play it conservative?
I don't see why you would take a big risk if you're in the top 5, top 6.
But then Cindric,
Yeah, Cindric, I'm worried about because he's gonna have to play. He would need 19 stage points to get in without winning.
right. And if we're saying that Kyle Busch is going to make it, and you're saying that Kevin Harvick might win the race, then that's two drivers that are currently in that are going to end up being out. So the
Mm-hmm.
question is, who are those two drivers?
Another one that I talked up a lot, but now I'm worried would be Suarez.
Hmm.
Not super far above the cut line, and I'm just worried about how he's going to be at Bristol.
Yeah, Suarez has been pretty good on the dirt, but the last 2 years in the Bristol night race, he was 22nd last year. He was 26th the year
Mm-hmm.
before that.
That's why I'm
Now,
worried.
one thing to consider is we have not had the next gen
Yeah.
car on Bristol concrete.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't just rely exclusively on past years at this track.
Yeah.
What about Ross Chastain? Ross Chastain probably has the ability to run up front and probably has the ability to win. Are the other drivers going to allow that to happen in these close quarters, bumping in Bristol?
That's the thing. If I was Chastain, the thing is between 9th and 10th, Chastain's up 20 points over Suarez. So if I was Chastain, I would not worry about trying to win. You just don't want to get wrecked by anyone because you've got a lead. Just I don't get why just coast in the top 10 so you can keep going. I know he's gonna want to win, but
You know
I
who
would
we're talking about here,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, but the problem is anyone could see Chastain and oh, I'm not gonna let that guy win, and then you're out of the playoffs. So don't ruin a good thing.
What about Tyler Reddick? He's tied with Cindric, last car in right now.
Mm.
Very talented at this track. The last 2 years in the Bristol night race, last year Reddick was 12th. The year
Mm-hmm.
prior to that, he was 4th. Um, so he's definitely got the ability here. What do you think is going to happen with Reddick?
He's got the stats, and especially just this season, he's been very good with staying up front, very good staying out of trouble for the most part. I feel like Reddick will be good. He's right there on the line, but he's a good driver and he's got good mindset for these races.
Okay, Nick. So then, if I'm listening to you correctly, you're saying that the four you believe will be eliminated are Briscoe. Actually, we haven't talked about Briscoe. Anything to say about him?
There's nothing really to say. He'd almost need a win. I'm not even sure he might need a win to to survive. So
When you look at Briscoe's result in the dirt race, you see 22nd or whatever it was. But then I remembered Briscoe was going for the win.
yeah.
He wrecks Reddick,
Hmm.
and then Kyle Busch cruises past for the win. I had almost forgotten about that. Of course, that was the dirt race. But Briscoe, you never know. He might have a little something.
Here's the thing. The more I think about it, and the more I see how close these guys are in points, someone like in the top like three through eight could wreck and they'd be done. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying I'm worried about Suarez But now it's like, what if Blaney wrecks and gets 36th?
Hmm.
There's someone out right there.
Okay, Nick, do you want to predict who are the 4 guys that are going to be eliminated?
Yeah. So as I've said before, I don't think Chase Briscoe has anything left to give, really. I think he might be decent, but it's just not going to be enough for how far down he is. Sadly, Austin Dillon also, I don't see it working out. And then I'm gonna go with Suarez still. That unfortunate. I feel like something bad's gonna happen. He's gonna be having issues, and Suarez is sadly not gonna be able to advance. And then I'm taking back my statement about Hendrick drivers being safe. My prediction is gonna be an Alex Bowman wreck, and he'll be out just like that.
Okay. Okay.
Those are my 4. What do you think yours are?
Okay, so I'm going to agree with you. I think that Briscoe, I think he may perform well, but it's just not going to be quite enough. I think that Dillon will also be eliminated. I'm feeling that you've got a Harvick win prediction coming, so
Yeah.
I don't predict Harvick to win. That means I'm predicting him to be eliminated. Yeah. So I'm going to say Harvick will be eliminated. And then I believe that Cindric is also going to fall below the cut line. So those are the 4 I'm predicting will not make it still in the playoffs. So who's going to win the race? Another non-playoff guy?
Not this time. Not this time. I mean, I've been hinting at it the whole time, but I think that Harvick can pull it off. He knows that's what it's going to take. Plus, also, if I was him looking up, oh, look, Ross Chastain, Suarez, Reddick, like, I can beat these guys. Like, let me go another round. And then it's like, oh, I've already got another round in me. Like, all it takes is this win, and he's back in it and ready to go. I think that he can pull it off.
That will be very exciting if that is the case and he's racing for the win at the end, particularly if Elliott is involved with that too. So I'm going to predict that a guy who really needs a good performance is going to get that and more. I believe Reddick is going to win this race. Tyler Reddick is my prediction to win.
I think that's a good prediction.
Nick, give me a non-playoff driver that you are going to name as a sleeper, someone that you think will perform very, very well, but is not playoffs.
I'm going to say my sleeper, my survivor, if things go terribly wrong, Brad Keselowski.
Okay. He's got some good history here.
Yeah. I could see it working out, and then we'd have 3 non-playoff driver winners, and it would just be a mess.
That would be a mess. So my non-playoff driver that I'm picking for this race is AJ Allmendinger. I don't see that he's had much of a cup history at Bristol. But I like him. He's in this race. He's got nothing to lose. I think he's going to go all out, and I think he'll be very good. He might be there in the end in that top 5. So practicing qualifying for this race Friday night, Bristol night race Saturday night. Be a nice Saturday night special. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun to watch. So we look forward to that. We look forward to getting together and talking about it after.
Be interesting to see if there's a little shocker upset on who's out that we'll talk about.
All right. Well, everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time here on Nick and Dan.